Okay, so we are going to review the haunted house, or at least some of it. It's going to take us a while to build this, and some of you have already gotten started. We're doing a house. You could do your own twist to this. You could do any house. You want to do like southern, you know, um, plantation style mansion, like the haunted mansion at Disneyland is, or if you want to do more of a Tudor style mansion, which is like the haunted mansion in Disney World, or they're different. I don't know if you've seen them, but you're gonna animate across a small terrain area through like a foggy environment, and there'll be like dead trees and props and graveyards and headstones and whatever, pumpkins, lanterns, all that kind of stuff, through a threshold or over a threshold, a gate. Some people open the gate, and then up to the haunted, spooky mansion. Okay, and like what kind of path that you take, uphill, downhill, through a ravine. I should just let this one play. There we go. Is up to you. Stairs, all that kind of stuff. But you have to travel. The requirements will be to travel through an environment because you don't want to do the 6 mile trek. It's just a quick boop, boop, doop, and then you're there up to the haunted mansion or haunted house. You can do it cartoony style. You can do it Victorian style, whatever you want. We want to kind of make the house look older. This one you're kind of seeing a little bit of that with the roof, but and then some of the areas on the balconies and stuff will make a little bit like crooked and things like that to kind of make it look older. This one has no textures. So the way we get started with this is your first lesson that we did, and here's another example of through a foggy environment. It's going to be nighttime. You can choose what color you want to make your fog. Okay, this is a little too thick as we get up to the gate. See how the gate opens on this one, and then up to, this is an unfinished one, but haunted house, spooky light. Okay, so moonlight, shadows, the works. There's another one. This one. Nope. Oh, there it is. Okay, so through the environment, through the threshold, up into the haunted house. And of course, like I said, we're gonna try to capture the moonlight and the fog, you can see here, and, with the lighting, the shadows, stuff like that. So it's a pretty fun project, good theme to play around with. So how do we get started again, blah? You're gonna go to a block. Now you don't have to do all your house out of this one block. You can use several blocks, stick them together, build wings at a house. Houses are sometimes very kind of Tetris-y shape, where you'll have like a U or a T shape or an L shape or whatever you want to do. I'm making a 2-story house. Some people have done like a haunted church. All kinds of different stuff. I'm gonna lift this up off the ground there so it's right on the grid. And so what we got to do with this is you're going to want to work with grout shading and lines, and you're going to want to go to your cube and you're going to want to divide it with segments for the X, Y, and Z right here. And so I think it was a 422. What? I did 12. 422 was a good place to start. Okay, and then once you've divided it, you can't do this after you convert it, so you want to do this before you convert it. and you're going to go over here to your conversion tool, and I'm making it blank so you can see it. Or you could just go to mesh, conversion, make editable. Notice the symbols are the same. So it's the same thing. This is a shortcut here on the toolbar. So now it's a polygon cube with those new segments. You got to do the segments first, otherwise you're going to do it all over again. And then what we want to do is cut some geometry into there. So we're going to go to our front view, and we're going to cut some geometry into that. Now we can go to grout shading and lines here as well, and zoom in a little bit. And we're going to use a tool, a knife. You get a knife. And we're going to go to our polygons tool over here to the side. We'll start using edge and points tool over here, all on this project, so you can get a good review of those, but not today. We're going to go to Create Tools, Line Cut. There's your mighty blade. And what you're going to do with that is, if you hold down the Shift key, it'll skip in like 45-degree increments. All right, and when you can cut, and when you're done, you can just click off of it and go back to the shortcut if you need it. But up at the top here, we're going to cut the roof. So you don't want this to be like big thicky roof, like the eaves of the house, the awning, whatever you want to call it. So just a little skinny. So you hold down your Shift key, and when you cut all the way. Okay, but I made a mistake. You'll make this mistake too. Over here in the attributes, it says visible only. So if I leave that checked on, that means it only gets the polygon that you can see, and it doesn't go through all the way, and it creates these weird little n-gons and all that kind of, that's what this little triangular piece of crap is. So let's undo that. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the future here, and we're gonna take off visible only, and you could also, just to note, restrict to a selected polygon, so you can, if you were cutting, you could just have one polygon selected and then just cut, put on restrict to selection and only cut that polygon. There's all kinds of little things in here you gotta check out, but I don't want that. I want to cut all the way through from one side to the other. So we're gonna go to take off visible only, no check mark. Hold down our Shift key. I kind of like line it up here on the outside, and then. Now when we're doing this project, you don't want to be, let's just click off the tool, and we'll go back and look, and you can see now that it has added a new polygon set of geometry at the top there. All right, so we're going to do that to the middle as well. And you don't have to be perfectly even with this. In fact, it actually adds to the effect that the house is older, not so manufactured and brand new, when things are a little uneven and roughed up and stuff like that. Okay, so you don't have to be, we're not measuring this, you don't have to be perfect. Gotta select it first. And then I'm gonna drag across the middle, and we'll go back and look. And then there, beholdy, is the beginnings of our house. All right, so we got some other cuts to make, but before we do that, let's bring out the roof, and then we'll extrude out the front porch thingy. So this is the style of house I'm going to be doing, where the door would go. So I'm going to take this area right here, the whole thing, and select it. And I'm going to go to Mesh, Create Tools, Extrude. And when you extrude, remember, you don't want to be like spaz, because you're going to end up with like all this extra geometry in there, and this will be like nightmares. You can see all like the extra ones. So even if you slip with your hand, some people tend to like by accident like just go and then they don't realize it, and then they have that little sliver of a polygon right there, which causes a lot of hassle. And you have to delete it all and then reseal up the hole, and it's a pain in the butt. So just don't do it. So be really good about, just brave, is drag it out. Boom, one shot. I'm kind of measuring this against that. I mean, it's not perfect, but that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. All right, and then we're going to drag out the roof. First, though, before we do that. So don't do that yet. I kind of did it backwards. Oops. So I'm going to go to my points tool. Now the points tool lets you grab the points that make up the polygons, and the edge tool lets you grab the edge between the polygons. So They're kind of self-explanatory. I'm going to use my black arrow to select that whole top piece right there. Okay, and we're going to pull that up for a roof. Now, psychologically, it's a play school barn if you leave it like that high, or a tool shed, maybe a shack. If you drag it up too high, it gets too churchy, so you got to get it just right. Older houses had pretty high peaked roofs. Okay, and then now we're going to cut some eaves or a gable into the top here. So we're going to go to our side view again, and I'm just going to cut that polygon there. So I'm going to go back to my polygons tool. We're just getting that one right there, and so we're going to get the knife tool again. Remember, it's under Create Tools, Knife, Line Cut. And then we're going to put on Restriction Only. And then I'm just going to start in a corner and kind of eyeball it to the middle. And then down there, and then back over. And that's it. I've cut the gable now. So now when I go back to my main view, a gable is those like little triangular sections that come out of houses. That's what they call it. So now we're going to extrude it. So now I can go and finally extrude. So I'm going to get all those areas. Just hold down your Shift key and get them all. And then you're going to extrude outwards. And you're going to get it flaring out like that, and that's okay, because you're going to go to your points tool and just kind of like touch it up by hand. So the easiest method is to go to your black arrow and select those points and push them down until they're level, and then go to that big weird gable peak there. And of course you're never going to have a house look like that, and you're not going to have a house look like that. So you're going to push it down until it's even with the rest of the roof. And then, you know, if you wanted to have doubles of these, sometimes people have a bunch. Just look, you know, you can get on the internet. I don't think the network's working right now at school, so I can't show you, but I will in another video. And look at haunted mansions and get all kinds of examples and ideas. I mean, you don't have to copy any of them. So that's where we're going to start. That's a good start. That's the first lesson, and we'll continue that with our next lesson. So that's house part 1, the beginning. See you in class.